What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for the Death of Superman, the latest installment, the DC animated universe, I think, because I'm pretty sure this is all like the Master Cinematic Universe release anime. Anyway, okay, I gotta say this. Yo, guys, this is probably one of my personal favorite DC anime movies. Period. I'm not just talking like part of whatever the universe is. I'm talking just in general. Like, when you with Flashpoint, the Dark Knight Returns, like Year One and all those movies. It's up there with those. It's like up there. Like this movie was so good. Like, oh my god, did I love this movie? This movie was phenomenal. So, let's wait. So the Death of Superman is directed by Sam Liu. How's it? I don't know how you pronounce that. And James Tucker, and stars Rainey Wilson as Lex Luthor, Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern. We got Rosario Dawson as Wonder Woman, and many more. And the plot of the Death of Superman, well, if you couldn't guess by the title, it reimagines the event of the Death of Superman storyline for the New 52, pretty much. Because I'm pretty sure, the DC anime universe is based off the New 52. So, let me just get out of the bad right now, and so we can end this review, so I can just gush about the movie. Okay, I really only had one problem with this movie, and that is, it's not even really that much of a flaw, but it's kind of like more like a little nitpick in all honesty. But the art and animation had a couple times where it did look a little off. I mean, it's nothing like Dragon Ball Super Episode 4 bad, but it's not so. But at the same time, it's nothing groundbreaking. Like, this art and animation won't wow you. It won't like knock your socks. It's not like when Attack on Titan pulled out a couple weeks back in episode 2, and you get the Levi chase, or even stuff My Hero Academia's been doing. Or Dragon Ball Super. Even Dragon Ball Super to this day has done some pretty good stuff with its art and animation nowadays. Or the new latest, down the end of Boruto, they just finished the movie stuff, and that fight with Naruto and Sasuke versus whoever the fuck they were facing, ooh, that fight was lit. And, okay, now this is more like a nitpick than anything else, but Lex's voice kind of seemed off for me, because, like I said, because when I first watched this movie, because Lex's voice in this movie sounded so much like the Joker's voice from The Dark Knight Returns Part 2, I legit thought it was him. So I had to Google it and find out to know, in actuality, they were two separate guys that were doing this. But, now I'm not saying the voice is terrible, but I feel like that voice suits more for a Joker character, for the Joker, than really Lex Luthor. I mean, I'm not saying I hated it, but it was like, I was kind of like a little iffy on that one, in all honesty. Now, let's talk about the good. First of all, I gotta say, I love Superman in this. Like, they have done my man Superman justice here. And there's one thing that I love this movie did that I don't know if any of the other previous DC anime movies have done. Nothing to my recollection, nothing to my memory, I remember doing it. And that's actually when Superman is Clark Kent, the guy that voices him actually changes his voice. Now, some of you guys might wonder, oh, wait, what the hell does that mean? Why are you like, oh, sure, he changed his voice, Clark? Because, in case you guys didn't know, if you guys were wondering, why can't people tell Superman that, Clark Kent is Superman just because he wears glasses? It's not just that he wears glasses. In case you didn't know, he also changes up his voice a bit, and I believe he also changes his posture a bit as well, so that people don't recognize that, yes, Clark Kent is, because if he just wore glasses, I feel like a lot of people would see right through him, like, yeah, dude, you're Superman. So I love, because, I haven't really seen this done before in any of the other previous, things related to Superman that I've seen. I don't recall the trash 70s movies doing this. I don't recall the DCEU doing this, and, in BVS. I don't think any of the previous Superman anime movies have done this either. I don't think the anime series has done this. I could be wrong with some of this, because it's been a while since I've seen a lot of this stuff. But I don't recognize. I don't think any. I think this is the first time they've actually done this. But I just love how they did add that little detail of Clark, because because I knew that for a while now, and when we first seeing Clark, I was looking at her change his voice up a bit. I was like, oh shit, he changed his voice. It's Clark, yo. That's little details in there that I'm glad that DC put in there. That is something I'm like, yes, thank you DC for adding that. But another thing I love is that this movie has made me fall in love with Superman that much more. Because, like, you guys know that I love Superman. He's my 5th favorite superhero of all time. Ever since I saw him, in the DCU, I saw Man of Steel. I've always made a Superman fan since. But this movie just makes me fall a little bit more because this movie also shows how big of an impact Superman has had on Metropolis and really on the world. Because like there's this one, because we see for a second, like there's this fisherman who is a big fan of Superman. He owns this bar, and he takes a picture with Superman. He's like, yeah, Superman's a great person, and that's the when he dies. Spoiler alert, although great, we all know this story by now. Anyway, if you're watching this review, we see him. He's wondering like, why am I still here when like such a great man like Superman is gone? Why is this washed up fisherman still here? And you see it with other side characters, you see the impact, and I'm just like, Superman has now gone from my 5th favorite superhero after watching the movie to now my 4th. I'm dead serious. Like, this movie has just made me fall in love with Superman that much more. And I gotta say, this movie holds my favorite Superman moment of all time. I know a lot of you guys' favorite Superman moments would probably be that one moment from Superman All-Star when he was like saving that emo chick from jumping off the roof. But no. This is better. It's so wholesome. I love it. Okay, this is when Doomsday's already come in, and I guess this is kind of a minor spoiler. So if you don't want to know the scene, skip ahead. But we see this scene. Okay, Superman. So we get Superman and Doomsday. They're fighting it out. We see this. We see this mom and her kid. Her kid's playing over there, playing on like his his Game Boy or whatever. And his mom. And then Superman and Doomsday come hurling towards her mom's the mom's car. She manages to get her son out right before they crash her on top of it. But amidst the scuffling, he loses his Game Boy and it kind of gets sent flying in the other direction. Him being a kid, he goes after it. Then our boy Superman comes in there and he saves the kid, gets on top of it, and make sure he doesn't breathe him. And then he hands him back his Game Boy with like a smile on his face. It kind of reminds me of Alma, from My Hero Academia, because we all know about Alma always want to rescue people with a smile on his face, and as we also know, Alma is a Blade ripoff of Superman. But after he hands him his Game Boy, the kid takes it. He walks up for a bit. Oh, this is so wholesome. I'm like, oh man, it melts my heart just talking about it. And it's like he comes, and then he kind of stops, comes back and hugs him, and Superman's and then Superman hugs him back. I'm like, oh, that moment was so cute, adorable, and wholesome. I was like, oh, I love it. That's my favorite Superman moment right there. That moment with Superman was oh man, I love that moment to death. So now let's get into Doomsday. This movie, they got Doomsday right. If you were kind of disappointed how he was kind of mistreated in BVS, this movie will rectify it, as this is the 3rd time we've seen the Death of Superman be adapted. Superman, Doomsday, BVS, and now this. I have seen Superman Doomsday, in case you guys are wondering, but that was years ago, and that was really before I really even gave a shit about Superman. And overall, I know a lot of people hate that movie. I didn't hate it when I watched it. I thought it was alright, but nothing groundbreaking. I would rather watch, like The Dark Knight Returns over it any day of the week, though. Anyway, but I love, they don't shy away from Doomsday. Like, they show you how Doomsday will fuck everything. Like, they show up the Justice League, trying to take down Doomsday, and we just see Doomsday just wreck shit, from the Green Lantern to Wonder Woman to Flash. I like how Flash actually had this cool moment where, he grabbed, I think the dude was, Hawkman. I also know, like I said, guys, I'm more of a Marvel guy, so I don't follow DC to the T like I do Marvel. Even so, yeah, more of the other guys that are not Green Lantern, Batman, Superman, Martian Manhunter, some of the lesser known guys. I don't know who the hell they are most of the time. Anyway, so we see him actually pick up Hawkman's hammer, and he starts running around Doomsday and hitting him with it. I was like, oh, get him, Flash, get him. Batman gets his ass beat because, as we know, the man got no powers. Now, one thing I will also say, but this was kind of more of a nitpick of my part, not really a critique. This is kind of something I would have liked to seen. Is that Damian's not really in the movie? This is called The Death of Superman, but in the trailer, I saw him in there, and I was like, oh, cool, Damian's in, but we don't ever see, Batman and Damian, team up against him, which kind of sucks, because I love Damian, and I always want to see Damian and everything, because, I just love Damian. He's my favorite Robin. I love Damian, but that's not really a critique on the movie part. That's kind of like me, just being a little having too many expectations probably there, because, this is called The Death of Superman, not the Death of Batman Robin or something. Anyway, So okay, so like I said, Doomsday, great. And now let's talk about and then the but I will say the fight itself between Superman and Doomsday. It's probably one of the better fights I've seen from the DCEU. This is probably right up there with right up there with like the Dark Knight Returns Part 1 with we have Batman versus the leader of the mutants. It's not. I would say that's why I would say the Dark Knight Returns is probably my favorite fight in the DC anime out of all the DC anime movies, just because it has probably the baddest the most badass Batman quote. This is this. You don't get it, son. This isn't a mud hole. It's an operating table. And I'm the searchlight. Oh, that line is so fucking bad. It's but the art animation here it's really good. I was really getting invested in these fights. And then when Superman goes at, I wouldn't say it's on like DBZ or anything like that, but ooh, is it a joy to watch? Like Superman they just go at it. The emotion there, the voice acting overall was great, and yeah, this was great. No, I gotta say, when the death of Superman happened, when he died in Lois's arms. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is in the beginning half of this movie, they actually focus a lot more on Clark and Lois's relationship, and you kind of see how he's struggling to whether or not if he should let Lois in his life, tell him that yes, I am indeed the Man of Steel. I assume. Here it was great. I loved how while I'm still I am still a Superman Wonder Woman shipper, I won't lie, I do like Lois and Supes. I mean, they are the OGs, so you kind of have to deal with canon. It's not like it's a terrible ship, but I really liked how they did that. How they were trying to these clashing where Superman was kind of fighting with him. So should I let her in? Should I let her in? Should I not? I like how we kind of had that internal conflict with Clark about whether or not he should let Lois in on his secret that he is indeed the Man of Steel. And one thing I gotta say, after watching this, I am super hyped to see the Reign of the Superman next year. That's going to be hype as hell. I can't wait to see that, guys. And the flag is on the pole, floating. I got chills. I had chills watching that scene. And keep in mind, this is coming from a Marvel guy. Like I said, guys, I do love DC. Do not get me wrong. I love me DC. I'm reviewing this movie for Christ's sake. I got a whole entire playlist to my DC movies, to my DC videos. Whereas also my Marvel reviews, but that's because my Marvel videos because I like Marvel more and I have more to work with there. But I love DC. I just prefer Marvel in all honesty. And so if you got a Marvel guy getting chills seeing the death of Superman, you know this shit good. And but no, I know a lot of people have been complaining about the costume designs, how they're being used in the new 52 looks. Me personally, I've always kind of preferred the new 52 looks for a lot of these characters and the new designs. I always thought Superman's new 52 costume was always better than his original one. Wonder Woman's, I'll agree that her original costume was better with the gold rather than silver. By the way, okay, there's actually some scenes in here between Supes and Wonder Woman where it kind of assumes. Where I'm kind of assuming that they had a thing going on. Now, granted, they did. I know this happened in New 52. I mean, as you guys know, I'm a Wonder Woman and Superman shipper. So, are there any I know this, and I know this movie or this universe really takes place during the New 52. So, are they referencing the relationship they had the Superman Wonder Woman book they had a while ago, or were there some DC anime were there some movies out there where Wonder Woman and Superman were actually think? If so, please tell me what those movies were so I can watch them, because as you guys know, I am a Wonder Woman and Superman shipper. Ever since I really read that book, the first volume of their book, I've kind of always shipped them. I mean, I like Lois, she's cool, but I prefer Wonder Woman in my personal opinion. So yeah, that's about all I gotta say. The death of Superman, how the adaptation was pretty good. The voice acting was great. The action was also right up there. The death of Superman overall was, beautifully handled. I loved, like I said, I got chills seeing the flag on, seeing Superman's flag on that stick. And that moment with the kid just warmed my heart. Like I said, this movie made me even a bigger Superman fan than I'm already at. To the point, guys, that I think I'm low-key thinking about actually doing chapter reactions or issue reactions to the new Superman book that's currently running right now. I am legit considering actually doing that for you guys. After watching The Death of Superman, I'm legit considering that. So yeah. Overall, I'd give this movie a 9 out of 10. If you are a fan of Superman, go watch this movie. If you are a fan of DC, go watch this movie. If you are a Marvel fan and you like DC, go watch it. By the way, in case you're wondering, like, since this is part of, like, the DC animated universe, can you watch the movie without really watching any of the previous ones? Like me, because like me, guys, in case you guys didn't know, when it comes to DC animes, I don't watch them all. I only really watch the ones that really interest me, which is predominantly, the Batman ones, and maybe maybe some Superman ones here and there, some other ones. But I mostly just watch the Batman stuff because, it's Batman. But you can watch it without watching any of the previous movies. So if you're like me and you're just going in there blind without really watching any of the previous movies, you're good. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow us on Instagram, leave down shots below. As always, come back for more. See you guys next time. And one last thing before I leave you guys, I almost forgot to talk about this, is the music. The music in this movie was fucking phenomenal. Oh my god. The music without it elevate the movie. Like when I was like, especially like in the soundtrack, especially with the song they played when, we saw Superman's cape on the pole, on the stick. The music in here, just absolute greatness, guys. Just the music was absolutely, man, the soundtrack with here was just phenomenal. Like, the composer, that man deserves a raise, because, the soundtrack here was fantastic. Anyway, see you guys next time.